welcome to Technique Friday with Els. Today I'll be showing you how to create a sparkling birthday card using my Lovebirds die set and a Silk Microfine Glitter. I also show you how to color on the glitter with alcohol-based markers. So these are the cards that are basically the same as the ones I'm showing you today, but I left the birds in the diamond glitter. So there's different possibilities. These are the dies I'm using. So I'm using the Lovebirds die set of the die. Then I use the fishtail banners for the happy birthday here. And I use the stitched rectangle. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to take my piece of double-sided adhesive. So white cardstock with double-sided adhesive on top. See, so white cardstock, double-sided adhesive. I'm going to take off that top sheet, so the release sheet. So now this is sticky and this is the release sheet. So I'm going to put that sticky part away for a second. And then I'll die cut that Lovebird. So this die set, I run through this paper. So you never get rid of your release sheets because you can make stencils with that. So that's what I did with this one. So I did run this paper through my die cutting machine, and then this is the stencil. So in this case I'm going to use this as a back for my start of my card. So I'm going to put my Lovebird in here. So I could also do it on a craft mat, but I like to do it this way because then I can easily measure. So I put my stencil on here. Oh, for you, let's turn it around. I could use both sides, but I know I used it like this on the card. So turn it over. Then I'm going to take my white cardstock with my double-sided adhesive on top, and I'm going to push that down, and I'm going to push that down as exact as possible on that rectangle. And then press it down. So you can take another piece of release sheet to put underneath here on your mat. Just save all your release sheets. And now press it down well, because you can imagine if I don't press it down well, I will not get the sharp lines of the bird. So now I have it on here. Then I'm going to bring in my glitter tray. Let's put my die away for a second. So bring in the glitter tray, and I use two colors. I use the cool diamond and the royal teal. So the royal teal I'm going to use on the outside, and as you can see I use that release sheet as a handle because you never want to touch your sticky, because the grease of your fingers might leave a mark. So just sprinkle, and now I can hold it here because now that's not sticky anymore. Turn it around and sprinkle the rest. And you can be generous because I'm going to put it all back into the jar. I will brush it off lightly. I don't need to brush it too much because I know I'm going to polish that all in. So put this back into the jar. So that's the teal. Then I'm going to polish, and polishing means I'm going to rub that glitter into the tape. And you'll see how sparkly it gets. So it's really necessary that you polish in between each color, and also that you see the change. If you don't see any change, it needs to get sparkly. If you don't see change, you didn't polish well enough. So just with your finger, you can do two fingers as well, whatever you like. That's it. And you see I hardly need to brush this off because all that glitter is now in that cardstock, in that tape. It's all brushed into the tape. So that's this. So now I have this color. I will brush it off lightly just to be, but you see nothing comes off. So now I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to take that stencil off carefully because I want to keep it in one piece. Because if I keep it in one piece, I can use that over and over and over again. And of course this is a fragile stencil, so I want to be extra careful. So I use my tweezer kind of to guide it a little bit. And then I can take it off with my fingers. Take this one off. And I'm going up here. See, there you go. So now I have it all off. And that stencil, you see that stencil is ready to go for the next card. So now I'm going to take my diamond, and I'm using the cool diamond in this case. We have warm and cool. And for this technique it doesn't matter that much, but because I use more like a turquoise blue tone, I choose to do the cool. Tap it off. And with the diamond, that's the only color, and I know I did other projects already, so I tap it off here, but I brush it off over a trash can. And as a trash can, I like to use a paper bag, if you have that, or a cardboard box, because that's not static. So here we have, in Colorado, we have Trader Joe, and they have wonderful paper bags that I use as trash cans. Or a cardboard box will work as well. So So now I'm going to polish this one. You see, now basically I have the front of the card that would be this one, you see? So that's that one. But now, I do that with the stickers already, I showed that several times. I'm going to color on the diamond glitter. With the peel-off stickers, you always need a boundary for that the pen is not running. So with this one, I don't have that boundary. So that is why I choose that dark color, that dark teal, because if this would have been like a light pink or a light green, you might see that ink running a little bit. But because I use a dark color, it will not show. So it will happen, but it will not show. First of all, I'm going to always edge this. So I don't like white edges, so I always take like a matching color and edge my cardstock. Just a small touch that can, you know, make your card look even nicer. So that's that. And then I'm going to start with my green. So I have, in this case, I'm using Copic markers. And I use the Celadon Green and the Ocean Green. But you can use any alcohol-based marker and any color you like. Because you can choose a different background as long as you choose a dark background. That is important. So the light green, I'm just going to color solid. And you see with that light color, I don't need to be careful because even if it's in that dark teal, it will not show. So very important that you take a dark color like a, you know, the chocolate or, you know, any dark color of the glitter will work. And then I'm going to add a little bit of shade. Using my darker green. You know, I'm not an expert colorist, so I just, you know, add it as I go. But it will just give it that little bit of extra. And you take your blender pen and just brush it out. And of course, if you don't have a blender pen, you can just color solid as well. However you like to do it. As long as it's a permanent base marker. And I just like 3 petals at a time and then brush it out, because you can work on it always, but I don't do it with all at the same time. You see, now you see that shading, and this is so much fun to do. I love to color. And I will tell you that dark green that I'm using right now is definitely running into that glitter. And again, that's why I use the dark glitter, because you don't see it. And now I'm going on to the birds, but before I do that, I am going to glitter my separate bird. Because you see I have that little tiny bird here, and I forgot to glitter that, so I'm going to do that first. Here, so what I did, I had a piece of white cardstock with double sided adhesive on top. Then I run it through, so I only did part of the die, I only used part of the die. So you can also use those leaves separate, but in this case I used a little bird separate. Then I'm going, so this is what I had, and you're just going to snip it apart like this, so you have like that little bird left. So that's what I have here. So I need to glitter that one in the diamonds, because I'm going to color that the same as the other birds. So take this off, use the little release sheet as a handle, and in this case I can just dip it in here. And then of course polish it, because otherwise we will have loose glitter. So I'm just going to polish this with my fingers. So now I have the little extra bird that I also can color now. So with this one I kind of played with some yellows and some reds. Always use the brush tip of your pen. And you know, and also with this one I have not been too precise. This is just a little bit darker. Some orange, and I think at the end I added some red, but and then I'm going to take my blender pen first now. Blend this out. So should have cleaned my tip a little bit better, but see, so just kind of brush it out like this. And then I'm going to add a little bit of red in there for the wing to kind of show the wing better and the beak. And again, this is so much fun to do. And same with this color, this will run, that orange will, and that yellow will run in that dark green glitter, but no worries because it will not show. I'm going to add a little bit of red here. It's a little bit too red for the feet. There you go. Maybe it's a little big. That's a small one. So now I'm going to put some red here as well. So just a small line. A little bit of red on his feet, but only a tiny little bit. I'm going to kind of blend it out as well. Might be a little bit too strong. Then I go back with my yellow. Because you can, you can work on it. Kind of tone it down a little bit. And then his little beak, I do in red as well. Maybe pick it up and put a little bit in his tail. That's it for the birds, and now I need to do the branch. I'm just going to follow it a little bit and then use my blender pen. And here I'm just going to drag it in here, but I'm not going to blend it where the leaves are, because then I will kind of drag it into the green. Just kind of take the tip and just go on into the leaves where the leaves are. That's it. And then just take my blender pen a bit. And this can be a fun technique with a lot of different dyes, with flowers, with anything. Any dye you have, make a stencil. You can color on the diamond as long as you take a dark color for the outside. Oh, need here a little bit. So that's my image, and then I will put my card together. So I have some colored soft finish cardstock here, which has the white inside, which is great to use. Oh, don't lose my little birdie. And then I have my stitch rectangle. I'm going to take the 6mm tape here and just put it down and tear it. Sometimes I do an extra one here depending on how large the rectangle is. Try to put it on straight, and I always advise people to stand up if you want something straight, put on straight, because it makes it easier. I do the same with this one. That should do it. And then I want to make that little banner here, and then I'm going to use my extra bird on there. So I'm going to bring in my Misty, and I'm using the General Sentiments here. Our clear stamp set has some really like You're So Sweet. Could have done that one on this as well. But I'm using the small happy birthday on the stitched banner. So I already have that banner here. So I'm just going to lay that on here. Kind of put it there precise, because it exactly fits in between the stitch. Take my ink pads. I'm using the Archival ink here. The jet black. Oh, that's perfect. One time is enough. Just going to put a piece of double sided adhesive on the back of that one. And then I'm going to trim it off on the side. I'm leaving a little bit of the branch just sticking out here. Let's see, I need to lift it up to see if it's right. Straight on there. Here we go. Then I'm taking my little scissor, trim it off, and then I have that tiny little bird left here. It's just an extra. I'm going to put it on top of the happy birthday. It's sitting on the stitch banner here. That's it. So thank you for watching. I've suggested a couple of videos I think you'll enjoy, and don't forget to download the project sheet. See you again next time.